Gadget Inspector.
Quadcopter brothers and sisters, how y'all doing? Well, today we are taking a look at this JJRC H33. It's a real budget-friendly flyer. This is a great quad. It's cheap, and I don't mean cheap by cheap, but you know, it's inexpensive, right? But it's a great flyer, okay? And we'll talk about this a little bit more in a second, but here's a point I want to make before we get started. So I got started with quadcopters like this. There's no Wi-Fi FPV. There's no altitude hold. There's no optical sensors or GPS or any of that. Now, as I progressed, I got into those, and it's a fun aspect of the hobby. Even got into micro FPVs and racers and stuff like that. So that's what makes this hobby so fun. But you know what? Every now and then, I like to go grab one of my oldie but goodies and just go fly. You know what I'm saying? Real fun. Don't have to worry about it breaking, because they're usually pretty durable, usually pretty crash resistant and light, which is what this one is. Now, some of you may remember this little guy. This is the Bayang Toys X9. I don't think I ever did a flight review of this, and I may do it because I still fly it. It's still one of my best flyers. I don't think they even make it anymore, but it was like 20 bucks back in the day. And when I say back in the day, that's like last year. But it's a clone of the Blade QX90, and this thing is an awesome flyer, I'm telling you. Indoors and outdoors. It's very nimble. I was flying it around today, and it just, nothing else I have flies like this. It's just super fun, super durable. I've crashed this thing, I've run this thing into walls and trees and original motors, and this thing just keeps on going. This review isn't about that. It just goes with the point I'm trying to make. Sometimes you just got to have a cheap little flyer in your hangar, you know, in your arsenal. Sometimes you don't want to have that stress of flying a GPS quad, which sometimes it can be stressful. You know, you got to do all your pre-flight checks and make sure you know the blades are on correctly, and you got to make sure it's calibrated and all that. Sometimes you just want to fly. You know what I'm saying? So we're just out in the backyard. That's what we're about to do. So let's just take just a real brief intermission. I'll show you everything that comes in the box, and then we're gonna fly. All right?
Where'd you go?
In the box, you get prop guards, landing gear, a USB charger. Surprise! It's a screwdriver. It comes with a 3.7 volt 300 milliamp hour battery. It's actually plenty of power for this quad since it's so light. You get an instructions manual. It's kind of busy, but it has the information you need. To bind the quadcopter to the controller, turn it on and move the throttle up then down. These trigger buttons are for the camera version of this quad. The inside right trigger is to change rates. There's two rates, low and high. The outside button is for flips. This button is to turn the LEDs on and off. This one is to do cycle spins. I'll show you that later. The top button here is for headless mode. The bottom button is for one key return. The rest of the buttons are for trimming.
Alright, you guys, so I keep talking about this landing pad in all of my reviews, but man, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Well, I would. I usually just use a box or something like that, or a lid or something like that, but this is just so convenient, man. I'll put a link in the description. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this powered up. On-off switch. Just got the 300 milliamp hour battery in there. And we're just going to go ahead and start in the low rate. Ha ha ha! Nice and simple. We'll have the flight clock up in the corner there. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and calibrate this to the lower right corners. And back in the air. Alright, there's your yaw in low. One of the things that makes this a really good flyer is it has a really good yaw rate. but it's not a crazy yaw rate, but it just makes it where you can maneuver quickly. It only has the 2 rates. That's our high rate. Yaw rate's a little faster, but not much. Okay, I forgot to mention that it has a crazy spin. So you push this button here, and it's going to do the crazy spin. Almost forgot to show you guys that. Okay, now right off the bat, we have very limited range with this one, so keep that in mind, because I lost connection there. So you're going to want to keep this within, I don't know, 30 meters or so, 30 or 40 meters. But as you can see, it has lots of pitch. And let's take a good look at it here. And a couple times I flew it, I was getting pretty good flight time out of it. Nice tight flips, very acrobatic. So you can do your flips and rolls and keep it pushing. And I'll show you that. There you go. Oh, and you can do really good funnels with this too. Pretty good. Pretty good funnels. Just a good flyer, man. Very maneuverable. Very maneuverable. Let's take it up a little higher here. Against that nice blue sky up there. Not a whole lot of wind today, but it does fight wind very well as well. When I was flying the other day. Good cheap fun, man, I'm telling you. Yeah. Very fun. And just keep it pushing. And this one is really good for backyard flying, just like this. Or at the park or something like that. And you're literally getting in the air as fast as you can get the battery in there. And, you know, get it turned on and bound to the controller. Okay, so you can see those LEDs. It's got the blue one in the front, the single blue in the front, and the green there in the back. And you can actually turn those lights out. I didn't mean to do that. It's this one, I think. Yeah, you can turn the lights out. So if you want to try to get more flight time out of it, you can turn the lights off. And it has 1-key return and headless mode, but I'm not going to fool with that today. You don't need that. Leave those alone and learn how to fly this thing like this. You know what I'm saying? You'll have a lot more fun. Good for beginners. Because like I said, it's pretty crash resistant because it's so light. And I think this is going for under, I think it's like 33 bucks or something like that on Amazon. And it's definitely worth it. This one flies a lot like the Nahui Toys U807 that I have. Another very popular one. That one might still be available. You know, I'm going to check and see if that Bang Toys X9 is still available or something similar to it. Anybody that's watching the video, if you know of a quad that's similar to that Bang Toys X9, let me know. Because I'm going to be looking for that because eventually the motors will burn out. They're still pretty good right now, but yeah, these are great flyers, man. You know, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get into this hobby, to get into flying, you know. And it's actually recommended that you start here. It's how I started. It's how most guys start with these, you know, little toy grades. And you can have a lot of fun with these. Just zipping around. You know, you get one that performs really well, like this, and you'll have a lot of fun. Now, when I started out with a little Nano in the house. Then I kept moving up, but you could definitely start with something like this because it has that low rate. Let's see. Okay, that was a delayed flip. I don't know what that was about. It has that low rate, so you could even fly this in the house. It comes with those prop guards and stuff. Here's the low rate. See how slow and just go to prodding along that it is. It's still pretty zippy in the low rate, but a lot more controllable. So you can work your way up. Once you get good at the low rate, then you do one of these numbers, kick it up to the high, and fly it a little sporty. Okay, looks like we're at LVC, and there you go. So it's a pretty quick LVC. As soon as you see those lights flashing, it's going to go ahead and auto land and pretty much drop. But this is a winner, man. This is a winner for sure. So this gets a high recommendation from me because of the price, because of the fun factor, and also it's kind of nostalgic. Takes me back to the roots, you know, back when I first started, before I started getting into all of the more advanced quads, which I still really like. Alright, so if you liked the video, hit me with a like. If you are not a subscriber, please join us here at the Gadget Inspector channel. We have a lot of fun here. Want to say what's up to all my current subscribers. I appreciate you very much. And if you know anybody that might be interested, go ahead and share the video with them. And as always, be good to somebody and be good to yourself. Later.